Hi, I'm Hedgeblack, and this time I've been researching how lead poisoning affects people. Every year, 24.4 million years of healthy life are lost due to the long-term effects of lead, and in fact, the WHO has identified lead as one of 10 chemicals of major public health concern. In my experience, the effects of lead are most often related to IQ and the negative effects lowering your IQ has within society, but an often understated issue with lead is its influence on all of the rest of your body. Lead seemingly has no useful purpose in the human body, yet it's readily absorbed. So why is that? Well, lead has the ability to mimic calcium amongst other minerals, which is then stored within people's bones and organs, causing all sorts of very small disturbances within the body, which is critical in the most important organ us humans have, our brains. Children at a high blood lead level at age 11 had an IQ score which was an average of 4.25 points lower than normal children. Stunningly, the reduction increased to an average of 7 IQ points in children with an even higher blood lead level, so an association was made between a higher average blood lead level and a lower average IQ. And while that is pretty bad, I don't think that this has as dramatic an effect as I was led to believe, no pun intended. This is already the very extremes of lead exposure, and there's only like a reduction of 4.25 points for the super high percentile kids. This doesn't really seem bad enough to have the negatives that I've often heard of, like significant downward social mobility, or turning a kid who could have become intelligent into an idiot, until I saw the common behavioural traits that are associated with lead exposure as a child, like externalizing problems, a short attention span including a diagnosis of ADHD, and the factors which I feel are most damning, an inability to regulate mood and to make decisions. The last two appear to be linked to the decreased size of the anterior cingulate cortex in people with high concentrations of blood lead. This also has a more significant effect in men than in women, meaning that the lead exposure affects the sex's brains differently. It also has a bunch of physiological effects, like preventing the bodies of growing children from absorbing important nutrients during their childhood, specifically calcium, iron, or zinc, because the receptors which usually receive those materials are absorbing lead instead. It decreases the production of heme, which is a component of blood, by inhibiting the enzymes which contribute to the production of heme, specifically the heme-dominolevulinic acid dehydratase and ferrocheltase activity, which causes anemia, tiredness, and muscle fatigue. It's also been found that the women who are exposed to lead as children undergo menopause earlier than non-exposed women, and that the lead within their bones remobilizes during pregnancy, which unfortunately accumulates in the fetus's bloodstream, which reduces their weight upon birth. It also affects men in that you would have a reduced sperm count. It also probably damages your teeth as well, since a study found that pre- and perinatal exposure to lead increased the presence of cavities in rat pups by almost 40%, and even in adults there appear to be some serious effects in workers with insanely high concentrations, like headache, fatigue, forgetfulness, and dizziness, and even more extreme symptoms at way higher blood lead concentrations, like comas, convulsions, or even death. I'm going to make another part of this soon, but for now, thanks for watching.